We landed back from San Francisco for what feels like barely a moment. Vogue was exhausted and happy to see us, and we tried to have a little bit of normality, but we would be leaving again in less than a week. I really wanted a roast dinner, so we ordered a roast and had it delivered. Honestly love that you can order a roast from Toby Carvery on Deliveroo. We tried to celebrate the 4th of July and then we were off again to Croatia. We had a super stressful trip down to Heathrow due to a security incident, and I legitimately thought that we were going to miss our flight to Croatia, but we made it with literal minutes to spare. The few days were spent mostly in the hotel for the event that I was speaking at, but we did get to see a little bit of the coast in Zagreb. Our hotel was absolutely incredible. So even though it was a short trip, I am super thankful for all we got to experience. Stopping at a Croatian convenience store was not on my list, but here we are. We both had to work on Monday, so we worked from the hotel lobby and then headed to the airport, where our flight was delayed, so we had trouble on both ends, but I think we were both excited to be heading home. Deep breath in. We got back from Croatia last night and immediately straight back into work. I have so much to do for work, for the house. Vogue has been staying with Jay's parents, and I'm hoping she's just really tired because they've taken her on so many adventures and kept her active and engaged. But I think she's exhausted, or she's depressed because she gets along with their cat really well now, which is great, but she's low energy, and so I'm just trying to let her sleep, and I think maybe it'll take a couple days I'm trying to not let that worry me. And then obviously, like, I've been traveling for the last 6 weeks. Basically gone for a week, come home for a week. And so I'm just trying to take a moment to breathe. Went to 4 events basically over the last 6 weeks. Spoke at 3. Reminded me how much of that, like, is not sustainable. That sort of cadence. That's not something I want to repeat continuously. But it went by quick. Spain, down to London and Bristol, over to San Francisco, back home, and then to Croatia. We flew into Zagreb and then went to the coast. I cannot pronounce the name of the town we were in, but going to Croatia was super emotional for me, because it's where my grandfather on my dad's side of the family comes from, and there's a whole history about his name and why our last name is what it is. That wasn't actually his last name. So there's a lot of emotions surrounding, like, going back to the country that your grandfather came from. At least for me, it was super emotional. And it's maybe why I felt so drawn to England too. My mom's side of the family. Jay gives me so much crap, but our roots are Scottish and English. Obviously, someone migrated at some point, I think in the 1800s, I'm not sure, to America. And so, yes, I'm American, but my roots are Scottish, Irish, English, and then Croatian and Slovenian. On my grandmother's side. Croatia was emotional, and my grandfather passed away. It's been not quite 20 years, but almost. In a couple years it will be. So maybe more like 15-ish. I think that sounds about right. It's just sad. Not being able to know, or I've really got to spend much time with him as an adult, and it's a side of the family that we really didn't know much about, and up until I'd say a couple months ago, my brother used Ancestry DNA and made a connection with someone and who actually had a ton of information about my grandfather's family, and so this whole new world of information has popped up, and it's really, really exciting. So I was also, like, pretty close to where he was born and the town he grew up in. Didn't have a car. It would have been like I think it was like 50 miles away from where we were. So we didn't have time to go run over there, and I was there to speak at a conference, so it was just really, really exhausting. And hopefully next year, I think the plan is to go back with my parents and do some more exploring. Definitely stay on the coast. Definitely entered my Adriatic Sea era of my life. That's another thing that I just can't seem to wrap my head around. Like, I used to fly from Seattle to Phoenix all the time. It's like a 2.5-hour flight. Basically what it is to get to Croatia. Unfortunately, we flew into Zagreb because other flights, I couldn't find a direct flight to one of the coastal airports that would have been closer to where we were on the days that I needed. So we had to take a taxi from Zagreb to the coast, which ended up being, it took like 3.5 hours the first day, and it's not supposed to take that long. And I realized after he was avoiding tolls, which is fine, whatever. but it was really exhausting. But if I had had more flexible dates, we would have just flown direct into the coast. And I think it was like a half-hour taxi ride away from where we were. But it was great. It actually would be a fun event, I think, to attend for the full thing for like tech and web folks. It's called Web Summer Camp. You're in a beautiful hotel. Meals were taken care of. Just really, really good vibes. I enjoyed it. So even though I was just there for the one day, it was really nice. It's good to be home. Like I said, that much travel in the space of 6 weeks is a lot, and being gone for a solid week, not just 5 days, but like 7 to 8 to 9 days is really a lot. And I know it's not, I mean, it's hard on me, it's hard on Jay, it's hard on the dog, like when you're constantly in and out. Unfortunately, I have more travel in a couple weeks coming up because it's wedding season. All the friends decided to get married this year, and then my brother's having a baby. So the first 2 weeks of August are gonna be crazy for me. But I'm just trying to enjoy summer in England if it ever shows up. It's so depressing to come back to gray, but at least it's kind of warm, so there's that. I'm gonna try and get my other vlogs updated. I basically haven't had time. I've got the one from Spain pending. Well, I'm almost done with that one, so I'm gonna upload that this week and then try and get through the other ones. But obviously I have a backlog of those to do. And I've still got like invoices to send for conferences and some freelance work, design work. I'm behind on so many things. I didn't even do my monthly tarot card spread. I'm just so behind. And then there's stuff with the house, like we're gonna order a new bed because we realized while being away that like the hotel beds were so much more comfortable than our beds. And Jay has an issue with his back, and coming back home to our bed was actually making his back worse. So we're ordering a new bed because looking forward to sleeping in hotel beds is not sustainable. So hopefully have a new bed and frame this week. Looks like they get delivered pretty quickly. And then just sliding back into life in England. I haven't been to bar or yoga in over a month. And instead of trying to rush back into it this week because I'm not feeling well, cramps, I'm gonna ease into it in the weekend. And I've just got so much to do with work as well. I didn't work a full day on Monday because we came back from Croatia. I just worked in the morning, and then a bunch of stuff that needs to be done this week popped up. So I'm in mode, and everything is due on Thursday. Not Friday, Thursday. So it's just the way it goes. We also are gonna try out a couple different food delivery, like the pre-prepared meals. I got one from Planthood, I think, which is a UK based, like obviously these are UK based, and then I think the other one that Jay got is from somewhere called Simmer. So in the next vlog I should have a couple reviews about those. Kind of excited. We've just been so busy and stressed and not had time to go to the grocery store or want to like spend time making food. Typically I like to prepare food, but I feel like now is a good time to try that because it's just so busy. I'm sure there's so much more that I will talk about, but I gotta finish some work, so we'll come back to that in another day. Probably not today because we're busy and I'm stressed and hormonal and my face is broken out and my hair is loving the humidity, and I was gonna put on makeup. I put on some mascara, but you know what? This is real life, and sometimes I put so much stress on myself about like doing my face up to do a vlog specifically, but like I just didn't have time to do my makeup today, and again, like this, didn't want to because of my face. So this is me, and letting me keep it real. All right, I gotta do a little bit more work and then I'm logging off. One thing that drives me crazy being in the UK, don't get me wrong, I love the no artificial colors or anything like that. Like Cheetos back in the US make me sick to my stomach. Cheese puffs here don't make me do that. What's-its are super tasty. But in all of their drinks, there's artificial sweetener in everything, and it's the worst. That makes me sick to my stomach, so I just opened this to try it. So it's like, oh, made with real fruit juice. There's sugar in here. Okay, thinking it's gonna be fine. No. There's artificial sweetener on top of normal sugar. Why? 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 Oh my goodness. This week has been busy and stressful, and there's a cat in the window of the neighbor's house watching me or Vogue. She's outside, but I can't see her. 1 second. I was like, why can I see something walking? It's because there's a mirror back there. I have to say, so I upgraded my iPhone from a 12 to a 15 while we were in San Francisco. And I got a 15 Pro Max. And the cinematic mode, even with the reverse camera, is so good. And I got a new dongle for my microphone, so it's perfect. Yeah, this week has been crazy because obviously we got back from Croatia Monday, and I worked Monday morning, but we took a flight that was delayed Monday afternoon, and so came back from Croatia, was stressed about trying to make up some time for work, but haven't really needed to stress about it because as things go, just a bunch of deliverables popped up, and some meetings got moved around, and so I've barely had a minute, and then I had to move therapy because work meetings now conflict with that. But of course, the meetings today that I moved my therapy appointment for had to get rescheduled, but it is what it is. I enjoyed having a moment to just breathe, and tomorrow will be much calmer. So no worries about catching up with things. We ordered a new bed, which is back there. We've got a new frame, a mattress. We bought a Simba bed. I didn't even go try out new beds. We're just too busy, and we've been sleeping so poorly. I think I said in my last update that we were actually like looking forward to hotel beds, and that's not a way to live. So, and yesterday and this morning, the way that I fell asleep, I woke up in such pain through here. We just bit the bullet, and with the Simba mattress, it was super appealing just because you have like 200 days to try it out, and if I have any issues, they'll come get it and we can try something new. So just with our schedule and everything and dreading going to bed, we just said okay and bought it. So the sun still refuses to come out in England. That's one thing I really appreciated about Croatia, is I remembered what it's like to be warm again. The English summer has just been so poor. So poor. And it's just windy. It's like 20 degrees here, so it's like, it's not freezing, but it's so gray. It's so gray. Still got some bits to do around the house. I've painted this wall. I still have to do up around the ceiling. And I need to paint white sort of around the windows and the ceiling and where it was freshly plastered when the kitchen got put in. But I feel like the kitchen is there. I've ordered some new, well, I ordered a smaller frying pan, Le Creuset. And I'm all about investing in like pieces that will last. The IKEA induction pan that Jay had is just literally flaking apart. Introducing some new, and yes, it is more expensive up front, but those will last forever. So I'm just slowly buying more pieces for the kitchen. And it's mostly there. Eventually this mess you see over here will be gone. It's slowly migrated into just a pile, so the kitchen or the living room isn't a huge mess anymore. But while we were in Croatia, we were really enjoying the couches in our hotel. And those were really it's making us rethink the massive sectional that we have, because we really don't need it. And like, we don't have people over enough to sort of justify that. Once we get a table in here, I would like to have more people over, but hopefully end of August, maybe get some more of this sorted out. But I'm excited to put together the bed and get the new mattress upstairs. And then it'll bring a whole new fresh feeling to the bedroom. I'm actually looking forward to like going to bed and not waking up in pain. Bogers, do you want to go for a walk? yeah, I'm gonna take Vogue for a walk. She's been a little bit mopey. Come here. When she's visually stimulated by lots of other things, so like hanging out with Jay's mom and doing things and following her around, she doesn't want to go on her walks as often. So I've come home from Croatia and San Francisco, and she's been mopey. And she's also decided that she doesn't like her kibble and only wants to eat soft food. Isn't that right? So she is living up to her name as a diva. But this week is just trying to settle in and get back into a routine. And part of that is going on walks and getting back into bar and yoga. So I'm going to take this one for a walk. What feels like the first weekend in ages where I'm not having to repack to hop on a plane and go do something. We put together a new bed last night, got a new mattress from Simba. Didn't go to bed until 3. And now I'm up so that I can go to bar class, but I really wanted to stay in bed. Jay is still in bed. I think the new mattress purchase was a good decision. So, we're gonna go look at carpet today. We need to go to Costco. I don't know if that will happen today. I think if Jay gets up, he's gonna go to the gym next to bar class, and then we'll go get coffee and breakfast and go get carpet. I finally have insurance so I can drive. I'm nervous. But we have a busy weekend. Feels like we have a lot to get done before I leave again.
in a couple weeks, so and the sun is still nowhere to be found in this country. So let's go to bar.